Good day, folks, and welcome to my 150-year-old barn that you see here that I've converted into a little bit of a workspace for myself so I can get some of these videos put together. I'm hoping to put together a series of videos for colleagues and students of mine to be able to use in the event that we are doing some more blended and remote learning in the fall, which I'm almost certain we are going to be doing. First video I want to put together here is just a quick overview so that students and teachers can see how I have my class notebooks and teams for my classrooms set up, and I'll show you where I had things working in the spring as we had our home learning, and I'll kind of discuss and show you maybe where I'd like things to go in the fall moving forward as I move into a more personalized blended type of learning format. All right, so this is just an overview of my teams. I have Microsoft Teams open. This is my Teams page. So you can see I have a variety of teams here. These ones here, the four right here, are the four that I used during the spring when we were working from home. And my students would access, and we would kind of use these teams as our communication hub as we worked through as much of the courses as we could. I'll just select one of these. I'm going to pick this one just because it's set up a bit different. So this is just a quick look at how I had things set up. When I created the team, there was a general channel, which had these tabs. I believe I added maybe a couple. You just hit that plus sign. There are others that you can hit and add to your collection there across the top. However, these are all that I needed. I started out putting a lot of stuff here in files, but as the semester unfolded, I lean towards putting my work in this class notebook binder that I'll talk about here shortly. The channels that I set up a general channel. I had a live meetings channel, which was set up for any meetings that we did where we spoke in person, and I would always record those to have for later. That way, and if I put them all in this channel when I create them, they'd always be found in that channel and be easy for students to access and find those if they happen to miss something. I then had it broken down by units. The reason I did that is because I find if you get too much stuff going on in the general channel, and let's say it's 2 months into the semester and you're trying to find something from Unit 1, well, it's going to take a lot of time to scroll back up to the top and find that information. So I try and use the general channel just more for, as it says, general announcements. And as I get into specific content and material, I'll work within these channels then to keep the material more organized for students to find and for future reference. This is an example of a unit that we worked through during our stoppage. So what I would typically do is make a post. I would say video lesson, give them a bit of an overview. I would add the video lesson that I would create. I put a link here to YouTube, and students could then access that. I found YouTube worked the best just in the sense that it was pretty easy for all students to access, regardless of whether they were on mobile device, tablets, or laptops or desktop computers. So that's what led me into the whole YouTube channel, which I'm now working to expand upon. So yeah, they could just click on this. It would take them to a video, and they would also be sent the blank notes, the slides that I used to make my video presentation, so that they could fill in the slides as they're going and take notes, pause the video, try examples first, and then watch my solutions. And that's something I think the students need to work on, is how to learn from a video presentation. And it's just that many of them are not used to that. So hopefully that'll improve once the fall rolls around. Once we finished the video, I would send them a suggestion of questions they should work on, whether it was a handout or it might have been questions from their textbook. They did have the digital copy of their textbook, so they were able to access that. I had it posted here under our general channel, under files. So if they did need the textbook, it was listed here, and they could access their textbook. electronically if they needed to. So that's just kind of the general layout that I used. Just go back to that quickly again. I would also use the assignments tab up here. That would be a way that I would put together the assignments for the students once they're in there. So this is just a look at some of the assignments that I would create. You can see here I had some great participation by my students. 17 of 19 turned in that first one. 16 of 19, 16 of 19. And then as I review them and mark them, it would indicate so over here. So that's kind of a nice way to keep track of who's turned in what you've marked. It's also all nicely organized here under grades too. So you can see, and again, there's no numeric grades, so I don't mind. It just shows that I returned their work here, those that were participating. The one I want to spend a bit of time, so then as the semester unfolded, I started to use more and more class notebook as I could see how it would be able to be used in the future, and as I'm thinking that remote learning or some form of blended learning is certainly going to be with us when the school year starts in September. This class notebook is essentially a digital binder that you can create however you like. There's all kinds of ways, so I'm just going to show you how I have this one set up for this particular class. So the way that this one was set up, you have your content library, your collaboration space, which is just kind of a joint place to go and work with students if you wanted to. I didn't use that very much. Within the content library, I have tabs of course documents, assignments, class notes. So if I go into course documents, I just have my course outline for now. Under the assignments tab, as I put assignments, got them ready, I have it broken down by unit. So if I just go to radian measure, I only started using this in sinusoidal. So these would be some of the assignments that I put together. And the nice thing about this is when it's all created for you, you don't really have to do anything. You just, the first time you open Class Notebook, it does it all. It makes a digital notebook for the teacher, and it makes a digital notebook for every student. I can see all of the students' notebooks, as you see here, so I can see all of my students. However, they can only see their name, the content library, and the collaboration space, and they'll be able to see this welcome tab as well. Teacher only is just for the teacher, as it states. That's where I put my answer keys and things I didn't want students to have access to. So moving forward, if I have assignments and I don't want the students to access all of the assignments in advance, I could have them in here and just distribute them as students need them. What I mean by distribute them is once you have your content library set up, like I do here, this assignment, so let's suppose student B says, they send me a quick message, I'm finished section 1, could you send me the checkup? I'm just going to go to Class Notebook, distribute page. If I wanted it to go to the whole class all at once, I would pick that one. If I wanted to go to a single student, I would pick that one. If I had set my class up into some kind of working groups, and I could pick groups that way. If I needed it to go to another notebook, I could do it through here. You can distribute sections. Again, I'm not getting into the whole inner workings of how it's done. I want you to see more of what it looks like from my perspective right now. So that's how I would then get the assignments to the students without them having to physically need the hard copy like they would have when they were actually in school. When I put it over here, you have the option to, I have it set up, I put the PDF and the Word document version of it here as well, so students could open those, or I just put the printout version of it down here as well, so some would just work through that. Most were working, in fact all were working pencil and paper, and then they would take pictures of their work, and they would put the pictures of their solutions in their class notebook, their individual notebook. So for example, if I take this student and look at her notebook, and I go down to assignments, and here's assignment 3, her solutions. What really led me to this was the ability to use our principal got me a stylus that I could just USB, plug it into my laptop, and then I was able to use a stylus pen and comment and give feedback to my students on their assignments. So you can see I was able to write some comments and things on their assignments. You can see Juliana was doing a pretty good job of cropping and putting her pictures in here. Our goal as the semester unfolded trying to prepare students for a digital learning environment was to get them to learn how to screen capture their assignment so that it essentially is just the page. I didn't want them to have all this extra. So I was wanting them to learn how to crop and insert pictures properly. Probably the easiest way to do that, I've found, is actually using a mobile device. Use your phone and download the OneNote app. And if you have the OneNote app downloaded on your phone, it's very slick to take a picture of your work. It'll actually automatically paste or crop it and paste it right in wherever you tell it to go. And your assignment's multiple pages like this one was. You take a picture of the first page. There'd be a little plus sign at the bottom. You hit the plus sign. It would add more pages and put all the images on the one page in your notebook. And the nice thing about that, I'll just show you here in my answer keys. So this is in my teacher only section. In my answer key here, if I go down to, let's say this one, sinusoidal. So here is my answer key. Well, once I had all of the work turned in and collected, just give these a second to open up. I have it all on one page here. And I just did this using my phone. And I also inserted, I did a video up where I went through and explained all the questions as well. And once I had all of that copied onto this one page, I could just go up here to distribute page. I'd hit that top one. It would go to every student's digital notebook. I could tell them that you can indicate which section you want to put it in, so you can make up the sections however you like them to be. As I said, I'm not getting into any of the details of how I'm doing this. I'll do that maybe in some later videos. But I just want you to see kind of the capability that you have with this class notebook. And then that would allow me to distribute these to all my students. They would have them for future reference. Within there, I'll just show you, within Content Library, I would have a video lessons tab here. And then inside the video lessons, I would go through and make a video of me going through explaining the lesson. I would send them the blank copy of the notes that I used, and they could fill in the information as they were doing it. So that was kind of their way of using the videos to help them learn the material. If they had things they didn't understand, they would send me some messages or emails, and I would kind of help them through those things. If you go down here, the way I would do that would be under teacher feedback. I'm just going to find, I had all kinds of questions he asked me. He was great. So if I look here under this students tab, under teacher feedback, these would be questions that he had posed to me, and I would just go here and kind of show him the answers to those questions with some comments and feedback that would get them pointed in the right direction. So that's how I was able to digitally help students when I couldn't physically be in the same room and help them out. I'm just going to show you my plan for the fall. I'm hoping to change things a little bit. Now that I'm getting more comfortable with the whole inner workings of all this, it is a bit daunting in the beginning. I started out exclusively with Teams only, and once my comfort level grew with that, I expanded into the class notebook. Taking it all on at once could be maybe too much. Just kind of slowly work your way into it. So I have this class somewhat ready for the fall in that I'm going to, in their class notebook, when they go into Content Library, I want to have it set up more like modules so that students will be able to individually kind of work away at their own pace. They don't have to sit and wait for me to distribute assignments and checkups to them. What will happen is a student will open the Content Library. This will be my plan for September. I'm hoping, again, I'm trying to work out the fine details. They'll go in here to, let's say, Unit 3 on rational expressions. Pick that one because I know I have some material in there. And then within that unit, I'm going to have it set up by curriculum outcomes that they are responsible for. And then I'll have a review at the very end of the unit. So they will click on it on a tab here. And this one just has the one video. They'll go through the video. These are the blank smartboard notes that they can print off if they wish. So they can kind of stop the video and practice questions as they're doing them. I'll give them a practice set of questions. whether that's from the textbook or handouts. It's quite easy to just insert anything you want right here on this page. Again, I'm just kind of getting this started. It's not all completed yet. They'll finish that. They'll send me an email, say I've finished section 3.1. I'm going to distribute to that student a checkup that they will do to indicate they understand the material. And if they've satisfactorily gone through the material, I'll say, okay, make your way on to the next section. They'll go to the next tab. They'll select this tab. You'll see video lesson, same thing. Again, I'm going to add here checkup, and I'll be able to kind of monitor where all the students are. It's a lot of work creating and getting everything ready. That's why I'm hoping over the summer to get a lot of this done, so that I'm spending more of my time managing the students. Trying to create content and manage students like I had to do last spring was extremely difficult and time consuming. So I'm hoping that getting this laid out will turn it into more of a personalized thing as well. Student A might be working on Unit 1 quadratics. The first section, and another student might be on here, and then another student may be on the unit review. Some students may be way down here in radicals. And I'm hoping to have this done for all of the pre-calculus series of courses that I teach. So that's what I'm hoping for it to look like in the fall. We are going to be teaching our students only half-time, so I'm only going to see them every second day. Therefore, that's why I'm trying to put this plan together so that hopefully, whether they're in the building or they're not in the building, they'll be able to just continue working away. And if I have all these videos prepared like I hope to, students will be able to use their class time to ask questions, write more summative assessments so we can kind of gauge where they are with everything and kind of get scores and marks tied to the work that they're doing, which was quite difficult to do here in the spring without having any contact with our students at all. All right, so that's just a quick look at how I have things set up, where I'm planning to go with teams. If you have any questions or comments, just post them in the comments section below. I'll try and point you in the right direction. As I said, I do plan to put together a series of videos to help both teachers and students with Microsoft Teams and Class Notebook, just to get everyone on the same page and to develop that comfort level so we can work through this and use this as our primary source of communication and learning starting in September. Thanks for watching.